Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. Chrissy Lampkin's tragic death in a car crash. At first glance, it looked like just another freak accident. But new evidence is flipping that entire narrative on its head. And trust me, this isn't just coincidence. Recently surfaced dashcam footage has ignited a firestorm of questions, and what it shows is deeply disturbing. A massive truck, aggressively tailing Chrissy's vehicle, wasn't just any random driver on the road. This looked like surveillance, like stalking, and the deeper we dig, the darker it gets. Chrissy wasn't a stranger to controversy. Her rise to fame through Love and Hip Hop, New York, her fiery personality, and her long-standing relationship with rapper Jim Jones made her a reality TV legend. But in the cutthroat world of fame, secrets don't stay buried for long. And now we're left wondering, did Chrissy know something? Was she being watched? Targeted? Silenced? We're going to break down that explosive footage no one in power wants you to see. Because once you see what's on it, you'll start questioning everything you thought you knew about Chrissy's so-called accident. Let's rewind. Chrissy Lampkin wasn't just a reality star. She was a force. Outspoken, unapologetic, and fiercely loyal to those she loved. She didn't hold her tongue, especially not on camera. Whether she was calling out fellow cast members or having emotional moments with Jim, she was always raw and real. She made an impact, and that impact made enemies. So, let's talk about what really happened. Was this a tragic fluke? Or are we staring straight into the face of something far more sinister? According to shocking new revelations, Chrissy's death wasn't just random. It looks calculated, deliberate. And then there are the chilling final words she shared with Jim Jones, words that have haunted him ever since. "I feel not okay," she told him. Moments later, her car was hit. Not just bumped. Slammed into. And now, with police reviewing her dashcam footage, what they found is damning. A massive truck followed Chrissy's car for over 15 minutes before the impact. Think about that. 15 minutes. That's not just following. That's a hunt. And when the crash finally happened, it was no fender bender. Witnesses say it looked and felt like an explosion. The truck? It didn't stop. Didn't even slow down. It vanished into the night. If that doesn't scream intent, what does? And here's where it gets even more chilling. Jim Jones has confirmed that Chrissy called him during that final drive, frantic and terrified. "There's a truck following me. I don't think it's safe. They're trying to push me off the road," she told him. Imagine hearing that from the person you love, then minutes later, getting the call that she's gone. This wasn't just a tragedy. This feels like an execution. So why was Chrissy targeted? Who was behind that truck? And what exactly did she know that made her a threat? We're just getting started. In the coming moments, we'll uncover the strange text messages Chrissy received in the days leading up to her death, the eerie coincidences that don't feel like coincidences at all, and the growing list of people who may have wanted her silenced. This is no longer just a theory. It's starting to look like a cover-up. And the world deserves answers. Let's not sugarcoat it. This story is unraveling into something far darker than anyone expected. The more we dig, the more it looks like Chrissy Lampkin's death wasn't just a tragic accident. It's starting to feel like a deliberate, calculated hit. Who would want to harm Chrissy Lampkin? Was this just a random act of violence, or are we staring down the barrel of something much more sinister? As we trace the sequence of events, the details grow more disturbing. According to eyewitness accounts and surveillance data, Chrissy was followed for 15 straight minutes by a large, unmarked truck. Not once. Not twice. 15 minutes. That's not just coincidence, that's stalking. That's tracking. And it begs the question. This wasn't some out-of-control vehicle. Witnesses confirm the truck accelerated aggressively, tailing her at high speed before slamming into her car. This wasn't a case of mechanical failure or poor road conditions. This was targeted, deliberate, and brutal. But it gets even more chilling. Investigators digging into the truck's registration uncovered something suspicious. It's owned by a shell company. And that company? It has past ties to fraudulent business dealings and offshore accounts. No one answers the listed phone number. The office address leads to a mailbox rental. So now we're asking. Chrissy wasn't just a reality TV figure. She was a powerhouse, outspoken, fearless, and never one to back down. That boldness earned her admiration, but also enemies. Public ones. Private ones. Some of them powerful. Even Jim Jones, her longtime partner, is starting to speak out. He's shuddered, but in recent interviews, he's made one thing painfully clear. He doesn't believe this was a random accident. He's hinted that Chrissy may have been targeted. And if Jim is saying something doesn't add up, we have to take that seriously. But there's more, so much more. According to anonymous sources within law enforcement, there's internal pushback against digging deeper into the case. Several officers allegedly tried to suppress key evidence. Why? What's being protected? Who stands to lose if the truth comes out? And then Chrissy's phone records. Recently leaked by a whistleblower, they reveal a string of unnerving text messages in the days leading up to her death. The sender? An untraceable number. The messages? Ominous. One in particular still haunts us. You'll never see it coming. But your time is near. That's not a troll. That's a threat. Someone knew where she'd be. Someone wanted her to feel fear. Someone followed through. Was it a rival from the industry? A former friend turned enemy? Or something even more insidious, a hired hit orchestrated by a figure with influence, power, and motive? And what about the driver? Dashcam footage shows something horrifying. The truck doesn't even hesitate after impact. No brakes. No pause. Just cold, calculated escape. Like a ghost. No remorse. No fear of consequences. Why? Because maybe, just maybe, they knew nothing would happen to them. This is no longer just about Chrissy Lampkin's tragic end. It's about justice. It's about truth. And most of all, it's about exposing whoever is working so hard to keep us in the dark. The public deserves answers. And we won't stop until we get them. From the start, nothing about Chrissy's death added up. The so-called accident was never treated like a high-profile case. There were no press conferences, no major appeals to the public, and no aggressive investigation like we've seen in countless other celebrity tragedies. Instead, there's been an infuriating lack of transparency. Evidence has been sealed, surveillance footage conveniently edited, and key witnesses left unaccounted for. The police have been disturbingly quiet. Officials won't answer basic questions. And despite massive public interest, the investigation has moved at a snail's pace, if it's moving at all. This isn't just bureaucratic incompetence. It feels calculated. It feels intentional. And when you add up the strange circumstances surrounding the crash, the sluggish investigation, and the unsettling silence from those in Chrissy's orbit, you don't get a picture of a tragic accident. You get a picture of a cover-up. Perhaps the most perplexing element of all is the silence coming from those who knew Chrissy best. Jim Jones, who spent nearly 2 decades at her side, has spoken publicly but only in fragments. He's expressed frustration, grief, and a burning desire for justice. But even he seems hesitant to go all in. And who can blame him? Jim has hinted at betrayal. He suggested that some people in their circle might have known something, that warnings were ignored, that danger signs were dismissed. He stopped short of naming names, but the implication is clear. This wasn't random. And yet, beyond him? Nothing. Chrissy's family has remained almost completely silent. Her closest friends, the ones who once shared her spotlight, have all gone dark. No heartfelt tributes. No urgent calls for answers. No media tours to plead for justice. It's a vacuum of accountability. And it's deeply disturbing. The public got its first real glimpse behind the curtain when dashcam footage leaked online. What it showed was not just a car veering out of control. It showed something far more unsettling. Chrissy's car is seen swerving wildly, with what appears to be a large dark truck tailing her closely, aggressively. The vehicle doesn't just follow. It mirrors her movements. It stays on her, like a predator stalking prey. Moments before the crash, there's a sudden jolt in the footage, and then nothing. What happened? Why was Chrissy being followed? Who was behind the wheel of that truck? And more importantly, why wasn't that driver ever identified, arrested, or even questioned? The authorities claim there wasn't enough evidence to pursue a suspect. But the footage says otherwise. It shows intent. It shows pursuit. It raises more questions than answers. And that's the problem. Every piece of evidence we do get only deepens the mystery. The media coverage of Chrissy's death has been equally suspect. After an initial flurry of headlines, the story all but vanished. There's been little follow-up. No investigative specials. No deep dives. It's as if someone flipped a switch and shut the story down. And then there's the entertainment industry, the world Chrissy lived in, fought in, and thrived in. Instead of rallying around her legacy, many in the industry have chosen distance. Former colleagues have gone silent. Brand partners have quietly backed away. Even shows and projects she was tied to have mysteriously disappeared from public conversation. What are they afraid of? Some insiders have speculated that Chrissy may have been on the verge of exposing something, a scandal, a secret, a betrayal. Others believe she was stepping on toes in high places. Whatever it was, it seems someone didn't want her to speak. And now that she's gone, no one else is willing to pick up the mic. What happens when justice is stalled on purpose? When police, media, and powerful interests work, whether by coordination or coincidence, to make a case disappear. We're seeing the answer unfold in real time. Instead of urgency, we get apathy. Instead of arrests, we get silence. Instead of accountability, we get gaslighting. Law enforcement claims they're doing all they can, but the results suggest otherwise. Evidence sits untouched. Witnesses disappear. Promising leads go cold. And the public is left in the dark. Experts familiar with high-profile investigations have been increasingly vocal. This is not normal. The delays are unnatural. The inconsistencies are alarming. And the lack of transparency is a red flag all on its own. There is a reason this case isn't being handled like other high-profile deaths. And that reason should scare all of us. It's the question no one wants to say out loud, but it's the one everyone is thinking. Was Chrissy targeted? The signs point to yes. The timing of her crash. The suspicious vehicle on her tail. The lack of support from people who once claimed to love her. The refusal of law enforcement to fully engage. The media blackout. The industry silence. It doesn't look like an accident. It looks like an execution. And if that's true, then we're not just dealing with a cover-up, we're dealing with a murder. And the people responsible may be walking free right now, protected by money, status, and fear. Despite the silence, the public hasn't forgotten. Online, people are furious. Across social media, hashtags demanding justice for Chrissy have resurfaced again and again. The leaked footage sparked outrage, and conspiracy theories are spreading like wildfire, not because people want drama, but because they know something is wrong. You can feel the pressure building. People are demanding answers. And they're not backing down. But the truth is this: unless someone inside the system has the courage to speak, or unless we as a public keep pushing relentlessly, this case could fade away, just another unsolved mystery buried in a stack of dusty files. That's exactly what those in power are hoping for. Chrissy Lampkin deserves more than a quiet burial and a headline that fades. She deserves the truth. She deserves justice. And so do we. This case is a mirror not just for the entertainment industry, but for all of us. It reflects the danger of unchecked power, the ease with which stories can be buried, and the chilling consequences of silence. We can't let this go. Not now. Not ever. We must keep asking. Why was Chrissy being followed that night? Why hasn't the truck driver been identified? Why is law enforcement dragging its feet? Why are the people closest to Chrissy saying so little? And most disturbingly, what exactly are they trying to hide? As we continue to dig deeper, we're finding that Chrissy's story is not just about one woman's tragic death. It's about the systems that failed her or worse, betrayed her. It's about a culture of silence that protects the powerful. And it's about the people who are brave enough to keep asking questions, no matter how dangerous those questions may be. So no, this story is far from over. In fact, it may just be getting started. If you believe Chrissy's story deserves justice, share this. Talk about it. Keep the pressure on. Because the moment we stop asking questions is the moment they win. The truth is out there, and we're going to find it.